Welcome to the deep dive. We take your source materials and basically pull out the key knowledge you need really fast.
Think of it as, well, a shortcut, helping you get informed without getting totally buried in information.
So today we're digging into something pretty transformative, I think. Generative AI and how it could, reshape things for a major commercial real estate player, KPR Centers.
That's right. We've got this strategic report that really lays out the potential. It's quite detailed.
And KPR Centers, just for context, they're a big deal,
Mm-hmm.
right? Vertically integrated, focused on those grocery-anchored shopping centers you see everywhere.
Exactly. Open air centers, mainly. So our mission for this deep dive is really to unpack what generative AI, this AI that can create new stuff, could mean for their specific business.
Yeah, what are the key insights? Especially for anyone watching that intersection of AI and commercial real estate.
Well, it feels like a really pivotal moment. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of excitement around generative AI in commercial real estate right now. JLL, the big global firm, they actually rank it in the top 3 technologies set to have the biggest impact on the sector.
Wow, top 3. Okay, so yeah, it really feels like commercial real estate is maybe on the edge of a major shakeup because of this. It's not just theoretical anymore.
No, definitely not. And you see the big consulting firms talking about it. EY, for example, they reported generative AI is already transforming key processes within real estate.
Already transforming.
Yeah, and they're basically saying companies need to get their adoption strategies sorted out, like now, or risk falling behind.
Right. And didn't JLL's own research find something similar?
Yeah.
That people in the industry see the potential, but maybe don't fully grasp it yet?
Exactly. Their 2023 survey showed real estate pros see AI as transformative, but yeah, lots felt they didn't have a complete handle on it.
Interesting.
But they confirmed AI, and specifically generative AI, were seen as the technologies with the most impact coming down the pipe. So awareness is definitely growing.
Okay, so awareness is there, understanding is maybe catching up. But are companies actually doing anything? Putting money behind it?
They are. Deloitte's 2024 outlook, it showed over 72% of real estate owners and investors globally are either already putting resources into AI solutions or they're planning to.
72%.
Yeah.
That's a huge number. Shows real commitment.
It's a clear trend, yeah. It's not just talk.
So it's always good to look at concrete examples, like what are companies actually using this for right now?
Good question. And we are seeing real applications emerge. JLL, for instance, launched something called JLL GPT back in 2023.
JLL-GPT, like ChatGPT, but for JLL.
Sort of, yeah. Think of it as a big AI model, trained specifically on JLL's own massive amounts of real estate data. It's private, secure,
Okay.
and it lets their teams, ask questions, analyze internal and external data way faster, get quicker insights for clients.
That makes sense. Keep the proprietary data safe, but leverage the AI power.
Exactly. And that seems to be a trend, companies building their own secure, tailored AI models.
So beyond that kind of internal knowledge tool, what else is bubbling up?
Well, you're seeing AI tools for investment analysis crunching huge data sets to spot opportunities faster than humans ever could. Then there's automated lease abstraction, pulling out the key details from super dense lease documents. Saves a ton of time.
I can imagine. Leases are complex.
Totally. And of course, customer service chatbots are popping up more, giving tenants instant answers, basic support.
It often felt like commercial real estate was maybe a bit slower to adopt new tech compared to some other sectors.
That's often been the perception, yeah.
But it sounds like generative AI might be the thing that really kicks modernization into high gear.
I think so. Exactly. And that's where the real competitive advantage comes in, right? The companies that jump on this early, figure it out, they're likely going to see big gains.
Yeah, efficiency, innovation.
Sure.
They could pull ahead quite a bit.
Definitely. Could create a real gap between the early adopters and the more hesitant ones.
Okay, so that sets the stage, the big picture. Now, let's really zero in on KPR Centers. This report we have, it outlines 5 specific areas where Gen AI could be a game changer for them.
Right. It talks about using AI agents, basically, automated tools to tackle specific pain points in their operations.
Okay, so let's take the first one. Intelligent lease administration and analysis. What's the main headache KPR faces here, according to the report?
Well, the report points out that managing leases is just really labor intensive, drafting new ones, manually going through existing ones page by page.
Trying to find specific clauses or dates.
Exactly. Key details like rent bumps, co-tenancy clauses, those clauses about what happens if an anchor tenant leaves.
Right, yeah.
Renewal options. Just getting a clear picture of all that across hundreds, maybe thousands of leases is tough.
Okay, yeah, I get that. Super time-consuming, probably prone to missing things.
Yeah.
So what's the Gen AI fix?
The idea is an AI assistant trained specifically on KPR's own lease templates and their whole portfolio.
So it knows their standard language, their properties?
Precisely. So it could potentially auto-draft standard leases using the right clauses, but maybe more powerfully, it could analyze all their existing leases way faster than anyone could manually.
Oh, so?
Extracting key terms, flagging anything unusual, even answering plain English questions like, show me all leases expiring next year, or which leases have a co-tenancy clause tied to the grocery anchor.
Wow. So you just ask it and it tells you across the whole portfolio.
That's the vision. And the benefits seem pretty clear. Less admin work, fewer errors.
You're right.
Plus, having those portfolio-wide insights readily available, that lets them be much more proactive with managing assets, negotiating renewals.
Faster lease cycles, too,
Yeah.
presumably. Less downtime for empty spaces.
Exactly, which means higher occupancy, more revenue. The report even mentions McKinsey talking about tools summarizing lease themes and Ascendix Tech doing AI lease drafting, so it's not science fiction.
Makes total sense. Okay, use case number 2. A 247 tenant service chatbot. What's the problem this one tackles?
The issue here is property managers getting swamped with routine stuff. Tenants calling about a leaky faucet, asking about common area rules, checking on a bill.
The day-to-day inquiries that take up time.
Right. And responding quickly, especially outside business hours, can be tough. If tenants wait too long, they get frustrated.
Yeah, satisfaction takes a hit. So the AI solution is a chatbot that never sleeps.
Pretty much, yeah. A conversational AI, accessible through their tenant portal, maybe even text message.
Okay.
And it's trained on KPR's FAQs, their maintenance workflows, maybe even specifics from tenant leases.
So give me an example. Tenant texts about a broken sprinkler late at night.
The AI could understand the request, maybe ask a clarifying question, then automatically create a work order and ping the right maintenance person.
Without waking up the property manager.
Exactly. Or it could instantly answer questions about insurance needs or parking rules. It handles the simple stuff end to end and only flags the really complex issues for a human, but provides all the context.
That sounds like a win-win. Tenants get instant help, managers focus on bigger issues.
Absolutely. It's better tenant experience, right? Round-the-clock support. Plus, automating those routine tasks frees up the property managers for higher value work.
Yeah.
More consistent service, better efficiency. It all helps with keeping tenants happy and sticking around. Higher retention, better occupancy.
And again, the report mentions others working on this, like McKinsey's co-pilot idea.
Yeah, McKinsey's co-pilot concept for handling requests and Ascendix Tech highlighting 24/7 support. It shows these ideas are gaining traction.
Okay, third area. An AI-powered leasing and prospecting agent. This sounds like it could really change how they find and sign new tenants. What's tough about that now?
Well, finding the right new tenants takes a lot of work. Leasing teams spend ages researching potential businesses, digging through market data, figuring out who's a good fit for a vacant spot, then crafting personalized pitches.
Lots of legwork, lots of analysis.
Tons. It's very resource intensive. Manual research, custom outreach for each prospect.
So how does AI step in here as a
Sure.
helper?
Yeah, the idea is an AI co-pilot for the leasing team, something that boosts their capabilities.
How?
It could scan market trends, demographics, even KPR's existing tenant mix, and suggest the best matched retailers for a space. It could even auto-draft personalized outreach emails or proposals, pulling in relevant market stats and property details.
Okay, so it does the initial research and drafting.
Yeah, and then during negotiations, it could act as a negotiation co-pilot.
A negotiation co-pilot, what does that mean?
It analyzes all the data, the prospect's business, the specific property, current market rents, and suggests optimal lease terms, maybe even flags potential negotiation tactics.
Wow, that's like having a super smart analyst whispering in your ear during talks. The benefits must be pretty significant.
Potentially huge, yeah. More effective leasing, faster deals. The team spends less time on grunt work, more time building relationships and closing. And by automating some of the prospect finding, they could reach more potential tenants. Plus, data-driven negotiation advice could lead to better deal terms, better economics.
Which all feeds back into higher occupancy and better rents. boosts the bottom line.
Exactly.
Okay, this is really painting a picture of major efficiency boosts. Let's talk marketing. Creating brochures, property listings, social media. That sounds like another big-time sink.
It really is. Keeping up a steady stream of high-quality marketing for all their properties.
Huh.
It's a challenge, especially for leaner teams, and outsourcing gets expensive fast.
Right. So how does generative AI help make marketing easier or better?
Well, these Gen AI tools can automate a surprising amount of content creation. You feed it basic info, maybe some photos, and it can whip up polished property descriptions or spec sheets.
Instantly.
Pretty much.
Huh?
It can generate engaging social media posts, maybe even AI-enhanced images. Think virtual staging for empty retail spaces online.
Ah, so prospects can visualize the potential better.
Exactly. It can also help personalize marketing campaigns, analyzing data to target emails or ads better. And you could use AI for website chatbots to engage visitors, answer questions, drive traffic.
The potential savings in just time and cost seem enormous.
Definitely. Lower cost, faster production. KPR could likely put out more marketing content, probably more consistent in quality and message, too.
And better quality, better targeting should mean more leads, more shoppers.
That's the idea. Attract more tenants, more shoppers. Having continuous automated campaigns running helps keep their properties visible. It all supports higher occupancy and foot traffic. The report notes Ascendix Tech highlighting these marketing benefits, too.
Okay, so we've covered leases, tenant service, leasing itself, and marketing. The last big area is AI-driven asset operations and analytics. That sounds more strategic, more about big picture decisions.
Yeah, this is about getting smarter insights from all the data KPR generates. And they generate a ton of data.
Like what?
Tenant sales reports, foot traffic numbers, maintenance logs, energy usage, local market trends. It's vast. The challenge is actually pulling out the meaningful insights from all that noise to make good strategic calls.
So answering questions like, how is Center X really performing compared to its peers? Or where should we invest capital next year? Takes ages now.
It can, yeah. Answering complex questions from leadership might take analysts weeks of digging through spreadsheets and reports.
And the AI solution here is an AI analyst.
Kind of, yeah. An AI-powered analytics agent. You can feed it all that internal and external data and then ask it questions in plain English.
Yeah.
Like, which 3 properties face the highest risk of occupancy decline next year and why? The AI would sift through leasing data, sales trends, local demographics, everything, and give you a synthesized answer with the reasoning.
Wow, that's powerful.
Or it could constantly monitor operations, flagging anomalies, say, a sudden spike in energy use at one property or spotting opportunities. And for acquisitions, it could rapidly evaluate deal documents, market comps, give you a quick initial assessment.
So it's about getting crucial answers way faster and maybe seeing connections that a human analyst might miss under time pressure.
Exactly. It dramatically speeds up decision-making and hopefully improves the quality, too. Management gets insights on demand, allowing them to be more agile, more proactive.
Right. Identify risks earlier, manage assets better.
Helps with scenario planning, too. Overall, it leads to better portfolio performance, better risk management, and it frees up analysts from just pulling reports all day. McKinsey actually noted that companies using AI analytics have seen NOI, net operating income, jump by over 10%.
10% NOI increase. That's substantial.
It really highlights the potential value here.
Okay, so looking across all 5 areas, leases, tenant service, leasing, marketing, analytics, the potential benefits for KPR seem really compelling. Streamlining work, making smarter decisions.
Absolutely. And the impact isn't just on those individual tasks. When you zoom out, the strategic benefits for the whole organization look pretty significant, too.
Okay, let's talk about those broader organizational wins.
Well, first off, just pure operational efficiency, less manual work everywhere, faster processes, leaner operations overall, potential for lower labor costs, too. And crucially, it allows for scalability. They could grow their portfolio without necessarily needing to grow their headcount at the same rate.
That's huge. Scaling efficiently. What about the top line, the revenue?
Well, higher occupancy from better leasing and retention, optimized rents from data-driven negotiations. That all flows to revenue growth. Plus that potential 10% plus NOI boost we mentioned. Maybe even new revenue streams identified by the AI analytics.
And the tenant relationship piece sounds key too.
Definitely. Better service through that 24/7 support, faster responses, personalized communication, proactive management. That all boosts tenant satisfaction and loyalty, which is critical for keeping those centers full.
So beyond the numbers, how does adopting AI change KPR's image? its position in the market.
It really positions them as forward-thinking, as an innovator. In an industry that's sometimes seen as a bit traditional, that's a powerful differentiator.
Right, it makes them look cutting edge.
It can attract better tenants, maybe better investors, people who want to partner with efficient modern operators. McKinsey even said successful AI use can create real strategic distance from competitors who lag behind.
Being the innovator, not the follower. And we touched on this, but that ability for leadership to make faster, smarter decisions, that's got to be a major plus.
Oh, absolutely. Getting those AI-generated insights quickly empowers leaders to make more strategic calls on everything from leasing strategy to capital spending to acquisitions. JLL found their AI led to more dynamic, actionable decisions. It's critical.
And lastly, what about risk? Does AI help there too?
It seems so. Gen AI's ability to scan huge amounts of data quickly can flag potential risks early. Maybe risky lease clauses or tenants showing signs of financial trouble or even compliance issues.
Oh, okay.
EY really emphasized Gen AI's value in scanning data for concerns, so it makes KPR potentially more resilient, better able to handle market bumps or unexpected events.
Wow. Okay, the potential upside seems massive across the board. Efficiency, revenue, tenant happiness, competitive edge, smarter decisions, risk mitigation. But how does a company like KPR actually do all this? It sounds like a huge undertaking. The report mentioned a phased approach.
It definitely is a journey, not an overnight switch. And yes, the report lays out a pretty logical phased roadmap. It starts phase 1 with strategy and prioritization.
Getting everyone on board.
Yeah.
Deciding where to start.
Exactly. Leadership alignment is key. Then identifying those first projects, the quick wins that can show value early, and building out a clear AI roadmap. What use cases to target, how to measure success, setting the direction.
Okay, strategy first. What's phase 2?
Phase 2 is all about getting the foundation right, data and infrastructure readiness. Gen AI needs good data. So KPR needs to look at their existing data leases, tenant info, financials, make sure it's clean, accurate, usable.
Consolidate it, maybe?
Yeah, likely consolidate it, get it ready, and set up the secure cloud infrastructure needed to run these AI tools. Privacy and security are obviously huge here.
Right. Got to have the plumbing and clean water before you turn on the fancy tap. So, data and infrastructure ready. Phase 3 is building stuff.
Phase 3 is pilot development and testing. This is where they'd actually build initial versions or pilots for those top priority use cases. Maybe the tenant chatbot, maybe the lease analyzer.
Small scale first.
Yeah. Rapid prototyping. Get something working. Get feedback from actual users early on. Train the AI models on KPR's data. Integrate it carefully with existing workflows. Basically test it out, see if it works in the real world for them. Prove the value.
Makes sense. Prove it before you roll it out everywhere. So, assuming the pilots work, phase 4 is?
Full deployment and integration. Taking those successful pilots and scaling them up across the whole organization, refining the AI models based on what they learned, making sure everything is reliable and secure.
And training people, I guess.
Oh, absolutely critical. Training the wider team on how to actually use these new tools effectively. Updating their standard operating procedures so the AI becomes part of how they work. Setting up ongoing support.
So it's not just tech rollout, it's change management too. Okay, what's the final phase? Does it ever end?
Probably not entirely. Phase 5 is continuous improvement and innovation. Keep monitoring how the AI tools are performing, keep getting feedback, keep looking for new ways AI could help the business.
Staying ahead of the curve.
Exactly. Maybe explore more advanced AI applications as the tech evolves. Maybe set up an internal AI team or steering committee. Keep learning, keep adapting.
It sounds like the big takeaway is start now. Don't wait for perfection. Echoing that EY advice you mentioned.
Absolutely. Start now. Even small pilot projects can provide huge learning and build momentum, but also be smart about it. Manage the risks, like AI making stuff up, hallucinations, make sure it fits the business processes, meets compliance rules.
Okay, this is all incredibly insightful, but it does sound complex. The report mentions a specific company, OMA, potentially helping KPR execute this. Who are they? What's their angle?
Right, OMA. They're positioned as a strategic partner specializing in these kinds of AI transformations, but specifically for commercial real estate companies.
So they know the industry.
That's their key differentiator, yeah. They bridge the gap between the cutting-edge AI tech and the specific needs and, frankly, the jargon and processes of real estate. They get both sides.
So they're not just general AI consultants throwing tech over the wall.
No, exactly. The report mentions they have their own platform, an agentic AI platform built for CRE. It allows them to deploy customized AI agents faster with enterprise-level security. They seem focused on building bespoke tools for complex real estate problems, not just generic software.
Tailored solutions. That sounds valuable.
Hmm.
Does the report give examples of their work? Stuff relevant to KPR?
It does. It mentions they helped Pacific Rim Properties automate parts of their acquisition due diligence that's directly relevant to KPR's investment side.
Okay.
They also built automated marketing campaign systems for Novia Sky Capital, relevant to KPR's tenant and investor outreach. And they've built conversational AI chatbots for real estate developers, showing they can create those specific knowledge agents we talked about for tenant service.
So real-world CRE experience in the right areas. What kind of support do they offer? Just the tech?
No, it sounds like end-to-end support. From the initial strategy brainstorming through developing the custom software, setting up the infrastructure, and making sure it all integrates smoothly with KPR's existing systems and workflows, their CRE knowledge is key to making sure the AI actually works for real estate folks.
So Omer could be like a guide and a builder for KPR on this AI journey, helping them get those quick wins and build toward that bigger transformation.
That seems to be the idea presented, yes. Helping them navigate it all, from planning to long-term value realization across the whole business.
Well, it's undeniably clear that jumping into generative AI offers some massive strategic upside for KPR centers. It really feels like more than just tweaking things, it's a chance to fundamentally reinvent how they operate.
That's absolutely the takeaway. Automating tasks, yes, but also boosting decision intelligence, improving service. It all points towards greater profitability and a stronger competitive position.
And like you said, the whole industry seems to be moving this way. So KPR getting ahead of it now could really cement them as an innovator.
Definitely. The companies that figure this out and integrate it strategically now are likely the ones who will lead the pack in the coming years.
This has been incredibly illuminating, a real deep dive into what AI could mean for a company like KPR. It definitely sparks some bigger questions, doesn't it? So maybe a final thought for our listeners to chew on.
Yeah, maybe think about the ripple effects. Consider what all these AI applications mean for the future of work in commercial real estate. As AI handles more routine analysis and tasks, what new skills become crucial? What new roles might even pop up?
Good question. And how do existing roles change?
Exactly. How do traditional roles evolve when AI is a constant collaborator? And maybe broaden that out, how might these same trends play out in other industries you're interested in?
That is definitely something to ponder, the changing nature of work itself.
Great point. And if you want to explore more, definitely look into KPR Centers, the firms we mentioned, like JLL, EY, Deloitte, and Ome Labs, and just keep exploring generative AI in your own fields.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.